Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel once again. I've been promising to get you this eBay update on some of the stuff we sold and how that part of the process is going. Honestly, it's been so much work actually getting stuff. Going through the boxes, which you've seen, and then the process of researching everything and then taking all the pictures and getting them up. It's just taking way more work than I originally intended. Pardon me, I'm losing my voice this morning. So anyway, I just pulled a couple of items that I thought were kind of cool or interesting as far as the selling process went, and I want to show those to you now and just give you an idea of what it's like. So item one was this set of Ultimate Spider-Man hardcovers. This is volume 4 through 6. When I started this, I had volumes 1 through 11, and I think at this point I only have 1, 2, 3, 8, and 11, I think, is all that's left. I assumed these were going to be basically worthless. These are, I think, $30 cover price. They came out, I don't know, in the early 2000s, and they're reprints. They're reprints of the comic books that would have come out, probably a year prior to these volumes being printed. They're mass printed. At least I thought they were. So I didn't expect much to come from them, but it actually turns out that some of these volumes weren't mass printed. Volume 8 and 11, for instance, which I still have, are actually going for over $100 a piece. Volume, I think, 7 on its own, I have sold I think that one sold for 60, and then volume, what would that be? So 7 and 9 both sold for 60 a piece. But anyway, this is volume 4 through 6. I had it listed for $120. I am pretty aggressive about the best offer function in eBay. At the moment, I don't recall if I received this offer or if I sent the offer to a watcher. If somebody's watching your listing on eBay, you have the option of sending them basically an offer to give them a deal. And I use that pretty regularly, and I've made quite a few sales by utilizing that. So anyway, it was up for $120. There was an offer in there for $100, done. The nice thing about these books, 3 of them fits perfectly inside of a medium flat rate shipping box with a little bit of bubble wrap or those air pouch thingies. So you can ship them really easily, fairly inexpensively, and they arrive in really good shape when they get there. Item next, we showed this one on one of the videos. This was Superman Through the Ages. This I had listed for $40. It was up for, I think, 2 days. I received an offer for $36. Bingo bango, done. I was happy to accept that. I think I probably paid more than that for it when I bought it, but I was happy to make that sale. That thing is just so big. It took up so much room. I was happy to get it out. Item next was the 6 Spider-Man Comics. I bought these from Action City Comics on a whim, basically. I was there one day and they had 3 of the covers, maybe. Probably 1, 2, and 3, so it would have been Green Goblin, Venom, and Beat Up Spider-Man. And I just thought the covers looked cool. And they are variant covers. There were sort of what you would call a regular traditional cover version of these. I just thought they looked awesome. So I snatched them up, and then I went back, each month or whatever, and got the rest of them. I think they probably had a cover price of $2.99, I would guess, given for when they came out. And as it turns out, they have appreciated in value a little bit. So I had them listed for $70. Same situation. I received an offer for $60. Took it, no question. Great come up on that. You figure at $3 a piece, I probably paid, let's just say $20 for all of them. Right? Yeah, about $20 for all of them. Sold them for $60. You can't beat that. That's a huge come up on those. Item next is this Rey Mysterio Pop. I got this pop, I think, at 7-Eleven. There was a 7-Eleven exclusive version of this. This is not that version, but they had this sort of regular version as well. And I was blown away that 7-Eleven had pops at that time. I've had it for years. The box was not in great shape. It was pretty beat up when I got it, and it had gotten some additional beating over the years, being on shelves and in storage and all that stuff. I got a lot of interest in this one. This was one of those I talked about in another video where like every time I listed a pop, I get a request for 900 pictures of it. So this was one of those, and got an offer for $88. Took it. Happy to do that. I mean, I probably paid between $10 and $15 for it. Sold it for $88. You can't beat that. Same situation on CM Punk. Got a lot of inquiry on this one. This was one of the first actually that sold. Period. I think this might have been one of the first things I sold. Period on eBay. This one was frustrating. It was overwhelming response to this pop, but nobody wanting to buy it. And basically I was in the middle of responding to all of these emails from people wanting to know every detail about the box. And then all of a sudden somebody just bought it right in the middle of it. So same situation. I probably paid $10, $15 for it. Sold it for $75. You cannot beat that. That is a huge return on your investment. Disregarding the fact that I sat on it for however many years. Okay, item next is this JLA Avengers 4-pack. I was actually really surprised how quickly this sold. This was up for maybe a day or two, and bought it full asking price, $25. Not really a come up on this. I think these issues were $4 or $5 a piece to begin with, so I didn't really make any money, but they've been sitting in my collection for 20 years probably, maybe more. So the fact that I even got my money back on them at this point is awesome. So I was happy to see that go. And the guy emailed me. He was really excited to get those. So I was happy to sell it to another collector, that wanted them for their collection to keep and enjoy. Item next is this Green Arrow Funko Pop. This was really tough for me. This was my very first Funko. You guys already know I'm a huge Green Arrow fan. I bought this for me. A few years ago, this thing was going on eBay for like $400. I kind of wish I had sold it back then, to be honest, at least in hindsight. But I didn't own it to sell it at the time. It was me. It was for me. It was part of my collection. So I didn't want to get rid of it. But I had it up for $160. I got an offer for $140. Took it. Easy peasy. I don't know. Sad to see it go. It's a really cool pop. It's that classic Green Arrow. And it's also that old style of Funko Pops, too. They don't really look like that anymore. The heads are a little less generic now. The bodies are a little less generic now. So I was sorry to see that go, but it had to be done. And I think this is the last one we're looking at in this video. This is just the Brightest Day Green Arrow figure. This was a DC Direct, which means it's sold in comic book stores and specialty shops. Nothing particularly special about it. Again, I bought it because it was Green Arrow. I'm a huge Green Arrow fan. I was really into that storyline. There was the Blackest Night, Brightest Day, Green Lantern story that Green Arrow figured into pretty prominently. But this was weird. So this sold the first time in the middle of the night on a Friday. And it was paid for and everything, 100%. And the next day, I had an event to go to. Usually I turn around shipping like quick. If you buy it today, if I have time to get it to the post office, it's going out same day. At worst, it's going out the next day. But it just so happened that we were really busy that Saturday. We had a function, a party to go to that was like an hour and a half away. And so I just didn't get to it. And then in the middle of this party, I get this email, eBay message from the buyer. And he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. Is there any way we can cancel this? This was an impulse buy. If you can't, I understand, but I really, I shouldn't have bought it, And given that the sale had come in at like 3:00 in the morning, I was like, and I had thought this at the time that the sale happened. I'm like, okay, somebody was up drunk eBaying in the middle of the night and bought this cool action figure. And when I saw the message, I was like, bro, no worries. I've been there. I've bought a lot of stupid shit on eBay and Amazon, in the middle of the night drinking over the years. So I was like, don't even worry about it. At this point, I wasn't out anything. I hadn't even boxed it up. No problem. So I cancel it. About 6 hours later, I get... let me phrase that. About 6 hours later, it sells again to the same guy. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. This isn't. I canceled the wrong one. I do want this pop. Blah 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 blah. So it sold, canceled, and resold in the course of like 24 hours. So I don't know. It was a funny situation. His emails were very funny. I actually, when he bought it the second time, I was considering not selling it to him and canceling it just because his emails were really weird and I just kind of got like a scammer vibe. But you know, 25 bucks, my risk was low. He had already paid it. The money was already in my PayPal account. And I'd already initiated the transfer. Obviously, he could dispute it later and things like that. But at this point in my eBaying, I had 100% satisfaction. I didn't have any issues with any of the sales whatsoever. In fact, some of the ones that I was a little concerned about, like some of the comic books, I was worried about them getting to their destination in shape, or I was worried about them getting there and the guy going, this isn't in good condition, even though it is. And I didn't have any of that. So at this point I was sort of like, well, whatever, we're not really gonna lose anything other than being sort of really annoyed and burned. But anyway, I sent it off, no issues. I think that I probably paid somewhere between, I would say right around $18 for this figure. That's usually what they were going for about that time, which is ridiculous. It's way too much for those stupid figures. So again, didn't really make anything off of it, but honestly, right now, happy to just get it out of my office and thin out this huge collection. All right, so that's that. Just what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 sales I just pulled out. More or less, we're all kind of right around the same time. They were all, I think, in the same 1 to 2 week period. But we just want to kind of give you that part of this journey. I know when I watch YouTubers that are flippers, like some of the palette flippers and some of the Funko flippers, they always talk about what something's worth or what they think something's going to sell for, but I never see them circle back around to actually tell you what they sold it for. And I think that's an interesting part of this journey. And also because there have been things where, it's like, oh, this is worth X, but then you go on eBay and nobody's buying it for that. They're buying it for a fraction of that price. So it's not worth that if nobody's paying that, right? So I think it's kind of cool to see that part of it. And also because some of these things have surprised me, like those Spider-Man comics and the Spider-Man hardcovers. And those have almost all sold really quickly. Obviously the pops and some of that stuff. So anyway, I think it's interesting. Let me know what you think down below. If there's something that's been in one of the videos that you're curious about, let me know. And if it's sold, I'll let you. I'll update either a video or update in the comments on where that's at. I appreciate you guys, all your support. Every video I've put up has gotten comments and likes and shares and all that stuff, which is just so surprising to me this early in the game. But I really, really appreciate all your support. Let me know down I almost said down in the description. Let me know down in the comments if you guys like this, because I'll keep doing them periodically if this is something that's interesting to you. If it's only interesting to me, then I don't necessarily need to do them ever again, but I promised I would, so I'm following through. So yeah, let me know, if this is something that you want to see periodically, and we'll put some more together. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.